What's going on, Washington fans? Welcome to the JTFB channel. I'm Josh Taylor, and we found out this morning. I just got back from the gym. I just wanted to do a quick video as it seems like it is official that corner Marshon Lattimore will be making his debut against his former team, the New Orleans Saints, finally. It's been weeks now. We didn't really know what to expect with the injury with the hamstring of when Marshon would actually play for Washington. But it seems like, we the trade happened. We were so excited for it. And then we're just like, okay, when's it going to happen? And then I'd say after about I don't know, you know, 2 or 3 games, I was kind of like, all right, whenever it happens, it happens. I'll be excited when he's out there. And then I started to get the feeling like they're going to use the bye week to really ramp him up, make sure he's healthy. And, just make sure that he's, used to the defense, knows what to do, knows like the personnel and everything that we want to run, the schemes and just the plays and all that, communication, all the detail stuff. So I figured they would use the bye week to do that. And then of course you have the Saints right after the bye week. That might as well be his first game, debuting against his former team. And he talked about it a little bit with the media today. He doesn't talk much, honestly. We heard from him a little bit. He's a quiet dude. He just shows up, doesn't really do much talking, but he just wants to show people on the field what he can do. But he said today, like, he's excited, like he just wants to show people that he's one of the best when he's on the field, and he just wants to help the team win. And then John Keim asked him, is it extra motivation playing against the Saints? And he was like, of course. They traded me. I'm happy that I'm here. I'm happy where I'm at. But of course, it is some extra motivation to be like, hey, y'all traded me, and that was a mistake. You want to get back at the team that traded you. It kind of feels it's like a transactional thing. You got traded to another team. But of course, he would much rather be here than in New Orleans as things are going right now for them. But just taking a look at like what I'm interested in seeing, obviously how good he looks off the rip. I want to have modest expectations because it's his first game back in weeks now. Coming back from his injury. But Marshon is one of the best corners in the league when he is on the field. So I still have that in the back of my head. Like, I'm expecting a great showing by him. I feel like last week, if we had a game, he probably could have played. But they just really wanted to wait and make sure he's 100%. Like I said, use that bye week to get him ramped up in the defense. So I feel like health-wise, he's fine. He's been doing all the high-speed stuff, high-intensity drills, all the teamwork and stuff like that. So I'm not worried about the injury at all, honestly. I think they took their time on that on purpose because this is more of a long-term investment, having him under contract for this year for pretty much nothing. And then, of course, next year for really cheap. And then the year after that, in 2026, really cheap as well. This was a long-term signing. So I'm not really worried about the injury anymore. Like, it is what it is. But I still have higher expectations than I probably should with him out there on the field. And I'll say this, if he comes out and he doesn't look, lockdown corner, if he gives up a couple catches, which he shouldn't to the Saints because they have nobody out there catching the ball right now with Chris Olave and Shaheed out. They have nobody catching the ball. So I'm not expecting him to be giving up a bunch of catches and stuff like that. But should we expect a pick six the first game? Maybe not. I would love an interception in this game because the Saints are rolling with Jay Kaner. But I think this first game is like a get back, get right kind of game just for him. Obviously the team's coming back from the bye. He's coming back from essentially a really long bye, having a couple of weeks off. So I am intrigued to see how he looks. Of course, I'm excited. I think, like I said, he's the future corner one for us for the next at least 2 years and the rest of this year. So I want to see what he looks like. But I also want to see what Dan Quinn and Coach Witt decide to do at corner. This is what I'm watching for the most of the rest of the season. And what I think will happen is they'll have Marshon obviously on the outside. And I think that they'll keep Mike Sainristil on the outside as well and keep Noah Igbenogany in the slot because Ben St-Juste has been bad. Statistically, he's one of the worst corners in the league. You just look up the stats and you can also watch the tape. It's not good. I I think for the rest of the season, that's what I expect it to be. So Marshon on the outside, Samer still on the outside, and then Noah to stay in the slot where he's actually been really good, surprisingly, in the slot. And then I think come the end of the year, that's when things could look different. You could re-sign Noah for a cheap deal. He could be a depth guy. I think Samer still would go back in the slot. That's where they've always wanted him to be since they drafted him. That's what he did at Michigan. And I think he's played really well on the outside, but I think they're thinking long term, they're going to want him to just go back into the slot. And then you address that outside guy, whether it's in free agency or whether it's in the draft. And if you can't really upgrade at that point, or if you run what you have right now and you like what you have, then maybe you keep Samerstone on the outside and Noah goes in the slot, or vice versa. You put Noah and Benogany outside and then you put Samerstone in the slot. I think ideally they're going to want to upgrade, and then they're going to have to get some depth guys in there as well. Because I don't think St. Juice is going to be here. And we need help at depth as well. So I think that's what I'm watching for the most in these last, few games here. And then of course, going into the playoffs, which we should do, by the way. I think we'll lock in the 7 seed. Got to go 2-2 at least. Best case is 3-1. But that's the one thing I'm kind of going back and forth on, is what that corner situation could look like and who the odd man out is. And Dan Quinn has been, he's been very vocal. He's not afraid to show what he thinks about players, whether it's healthy scratches on game day, whether it's reducing snaps on people. In my opinion, I just think St. Juice is going to be that odd guy out. Now, taking a look at defensive coverages real quick. Like I said, this is going to be a quick video. This is something else that I really am intrigued. This is something I've been looking at every single week. And shout out to @football, or just Football Insights, but it's @FBall_insights on X. They have the defensive coverages for every single team so far this season. And Washington, it's been like, it's funny because it was a lot of zone at first, and they started doing more man. They went really cover one heavy against the Ravens. And then it kind of went back down, went really, heavy one again, cover one heavy against the Steelers. Like, it seems like all these running teams, we've been going cover one. They want to load the box up as much as possible and stop the run. But right now, this is what it's at. Like as of today, Washington has run 3% of snaps from cover 0, which is just straight man, nobody up top, everybody's down low. Cover 1, which, like I said, this is fluctuated a lot, is at 27%, which is actually a lot. It's one of the top ones in the league. The Lions running like 40%, but other like top teams have like 34, 31, 27, 27. So 27 is kind of high. Which I think you could get even higher. We've run 3% of cover 2 man, not much of that either. And then 20% cover 2 and 26% cover 3. So that's zone covers, cover 2 zone and cover 3 zone. So primarily we've run, and then cover 4, we're at like 11%, and cover 6%. I love cover 6. We just don't have the corners to do it. So if you look at the numbers wise, I mean, I'm not that good at math, but I'd say it's about almost 70%. Yeah, so 27, 30. So 33% man. And then, 67% zone. I'm not good at math, y'all. Doing it on the fly, too. So that just tells you we've been playing primarily zone, and coming into the season, I think a lot of us expected Dan Quinn and Witt to run a lot of man coverage. So I think with Marshon being active, and Witt said it when he talked to the media the other day, we haven't shied away from like testing our corners. We have not held back at all. We've been throwing everything at them. We've been testing them all season long. Nothing is going to change. Then he also talked about his pressure packages with Marshon Lattimore in there. He said nothing is going to change. Great. Cool. So I agree with that, but I think what we could see change is more man, because you do have a lockdown corner on the outside. You see what Samer still has been able to do, and you see what Igbenogany's been able to do. It allows you to drop one more safety into the box, whether it's probably going to be some Jeremy Chin. I can see some Quan Martin. Butler's been having his snaps reduced. I don't know. I kind of like Chin out there by himself, though. He's looked pretty good. But I think Quan Martin has the more speed. I don't know. But I think you're going to see one safety, maybe not right in the box, but close enough. And then that's also going to allow you to drop, disguise coverages, have some shells where it looks like it's cover one, and then it turns into cover two or it turns into cover three. You have three safeties back there by the time, it snaps. Or, three DBs back there. It could be anything. Or, like I said, you have one safety up high, and then you have one in the box, like kind of down low, kind of flirting around, and then the ball snaps, and then they kind of split out, and it turns into zone. So the quarterback's looking, he thinks it's man, he has one safety, it looks like man underneath, and then boom, it turns into cover two. It could be cover two man, it could be cover two zone. It just allows you to do so many different things to keep the opposing offenses guessing. So, yes, I'm excited about this. I am also going to be I don't want to say nitpicky, but I'm going to be very zoned in and focused on these things of who lines up where at corner, whether, they keep Samuel on the outside, which is, like I said, as of right now, it just doesn't make sense to me to move him to the nickel and then, put St. Juice outside. Samuel has been really good on the outside. Noah's been really good on the slot. Just replace St. Juice with Lattimore, which is a huge upgrade. That's what I'm expecting. But I think in the offseason, they could make it to where, hey, we have another outside corner now, whether it's free agency or it's in the draft. And then throughout practice and training camp and all that, Sam Still's back in the slot, and then that's where he goes next year. In my opinion, that's the best bet. Just wait till after the season to do all those changes in the secondary. And then safety, you have what you have, linebacker, D-line, whatever. We'll address all those after the offseason. Or after the season. So that's what I'm looking for. But then also personnel and packages wise, what are they running? Man, zone, is it cover one, cover two, cover three, cover four, cover six, cover two, man, maybe a little bit cover six, throw in there a little bit more, some cover zero. I doubt it. But that's what I'm looking for. So super excited about this. Can't wait to see how he looks against the Saints. And then, of course, can't wait to see that matchup against the Eagles where he's on A.J. Brown the whole game. They've had their battles in the past. And then we have the Falcons. So he knows that team. Playing in the NFC South with the Saints, he knows the Falcons team. He plays them twice a year, pretty much every year. And then we have the Cowboys. So CD is going to move around a lot. So I don't know what they're going to do about that. It's going to be either Sam Still or Marshon on him pretty much at all times. Maybe some Noah. When he goes in the slot, I could see Noah going there. But I don't. The thing with CD, though, like with him moving around, it's really hard to just go from the outside to the inside if you're Marshon, or like an outside corner. But we'll see. We got 4 games coming up, and then, like I said, with the playoffs, this is why you make that trade, though, because it's not even just for this year, but this year is really big because you have that opportunity to make some kind of run in the playoffs, but then also you have him for the next 2 years, and he's still pretty young. You just got to stay healthy for these next 2 years. And you have him under contract already. I think it's like 18.5 mil for the next 2 separate years. And it's like 600,000 is what we paid him this year for the rest of the year. And then the Saints are paying him. So it's a win-win for Washington. You're finally getting your lockdown corner on the field that you traded for a few weeks ago, right at the trade deadline. But hit that subscribe button, hit the like button while you're here, and drop your comments below. I'm Josh Taylor. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.